follow over there on Kitman. Do Loathing. Appreciate you very much, sir. Just looking for a video because my stream crashed, so I had to restart it. And I was kind of looking for a Lorcana video.
What is up, my Lorcana goons, and welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. You're watching the Friday Weekly Market Watch. My name is Kevin. I'm joined with Zach. Every Friday, we talk about the Lorcana news, the card prices, and the meta trends to give you guys just a little bit more of an insight on what's going on in the game this week. Mondays, we do this a little bit shorter. Fridays, we take a little bit more time because I got Zach with me. Zach, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well, Kevin. Thank you so much for asking. Yeah, no, it's Friday, and I'm excited for the weekend. Kevin, for those that are listening and do not know, but Kevin has recently started his vending journey at the Ninja Exchange in Carlsbad. So if you're in the Southern California area, especially if you're in the San Diego County area, I think he goes on Sundays. So definitely say hi to Kevin and I. I'll be at Frankenstein's as always, so you can come see me as well. But yeah, no, I'm excited. We got some new cards to talk about. This Gadget Hack Wrench, a two-cost inkable 2/3 with one lore. I know that there's a shift copy for this, so this is something that leads up into that, I'm assuming.
I do remember there being a shift copy. Yeah, that was just announced, right? But a two strength, two willpower, a two strength, two cost with three willpower. It's just kind of like a Donald Duck, for Sapphire. Nothing too crazy, but it's a shift target for the gadget hat trick. Not too bad. We
And
have
it's
the
an
new Jasmine.
inventor.
Oh yes, inventor synergy, very important is what it's looking like for Sapphire decks coming up. Jasmine Royal Seafarer. This is a new one, 3-cost inkable. This was released today. 2 strength, 3 willpower. Princess Storm.
Don't care. Don't care. Sorry, chat. Fuck it, we've brought a dub. Hello. Yep. Oh, lovely. I'm gonna do 6. Look. Draw for turn. Inca Boss is on a roll. I'll play a Daisy. I'll pass. Draw for turn. Ink a Magic Broom. Play a Maleficent and a Lilo. I'll quest for 2. Pass. Yep. Draw for turn. Ink a Maleficent. Play a Donald Duck and Bodyguard. You +1 to the Daisy. 2, 3. So her effect triggers. Sisu. To pass. Okay. Draw for turn. Oh no. I'll ink a goat. I will pay 2 for a Gathering Knowledge and Wisdom. I'll pay 2 for a perplexing signpost. Banish this item, return chosen character of yours to your hand. Yep. 2 for Daisy, so her effect triggers. And passed. Pay 3 for Donald Duck. And pass. Oh, sorry. Rough turn. Play Magic Broom. Play another Perplexing Signpost. And I'll pass. Okay. Best for 1. Pay 1 to play Trinobogs. Banish to draw. Pay 3 to play blue and Bodyguard. And pass. Game. GG. Yeah, I didn't get any of my Chromicon. I didn't get my Chromicons or any of my other like main draw power. Some passive. I just have Magic Brooms, which, to be honest, I've been thinking about swapping them out for something bigger because I have so many 1-drops. Right. And I'm usually mulliganing for Daisy, so have a good one. I'll put back 2. Oh. What was that? Oh, you're good. I'll ink a Chromicon. I'll play a Daisy and I'll pass. Oh, sorry, that's you pass. Fox. Play a Lilo. And a Maleficent. Quest for 2 with Daisy. Pass. Draw. Ink and Amethyst Chromacon. I will play an Amethyst Chromacon. I'll tap that to draw. Play another Maleficent. Quest for 2. And then 2 for Daisy. Okay, and pass. Three. Turn. Draw for Chromacon. Ink, a Manaman Fox. Pay 3 for a Donald Duck and Bodyguard. +1 to hers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I'll play a Lilo and pass. Two, 3. Yeah. How much did you do? Sorry, 3. Turn. Draw for Chromacon. Ink a Magic Broom. Play a Goat. And pass. turn. Draw for turn. Draw for Chromacon. Ink a Magic Broom. Quest with the goats. Pay 2. Bounce the goat back to hand. Play Gathering Knowledge and Wisdom. And another Gathering Knowledge and Wisdom. GG. Hello. Good. Yourself? Nice. Yeah. I'll put back 6. Good luck. I will ink a Cogsworth, play a Daisy, and pass. A Chernobog's Follower, play another Daisy and a Lilo. Quest for 2. Pass. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's mandatory. Turn. Ink, the boss is on a roll. Pay 2 for Piglet, 1 for Lilo, 1, 2, 2 for Daisy, 2 for the other Daisy, and pass. That's scary. Draw for turn. I will ink a magic broom. I'll play an Amethyst Chromacon. We both draw. Wow, that sucks. For that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 for Daisy. And then 2 for Daisy. Yes. All right, GG's. Good luck. Did the sheesh out of me. Ancho
Bro, is this
Barlos.
game hard to learn? Just bought myself a starter pack, want to get into it.
It's not hard to learn, it's hard to play competitively. Costs a little bit of money to get into. You could also download Tabletop Simulator and play that for a bunch of hours and learn with people there, which is pretty fun. Oh, hello again. Must be the only ones up right now.
Do you have sleeves on your cards? Where does one snag some?
I get sleeves. I got my sleeves on Amazon, but you can get them from any local card shop. Oh no.
Alright homie, show me how it's done.
Alright, so we're gonna ink for turn. We're gonna draw, because it's our turn. Okay, I'll draw for turn. I'll ink a Cogsworth. I'll play a Daisy, and I'll pass. Issue is that I have not a lot of inkable cards in my hand right now. So we'll see. Might get screwed on mana. So draw. We'll ink a Magic Broom. We'll play a Daisy and another Daisy. Quest for 2. And pass. Ink a Chernobog's Follower. Play a Donald Duck. Give +1 more. 1, 2, 3. So trigger for Daisy. And another 2. And trigger for Daisy. And pass. Kid had 28 cards in his hand like earlier. Yeah, he was playing a discard draw deck, and I was playing this with a Chromicon. So he was drawing 5 cards a turn. Raw. Play a Maleficent. And then I'll play Perplexing Signpost. Yeah, banish this item, return character of yours to your hand. Yeah. I just played her, right? Or no? Yeah, I did. So 1, 2 triggers Daisy. 2 for Daisy. And unfortunately, I have to pass. G. Yeah, I got 7 and then gathering knowledge and wisdom. Question, yeah. Yep. Good game. Alright, we're in 3 again. I don't know how long we're gonna go. The stream ended at some point. Let me go check to see. There's gotta be something. Some ramen. I need some hot food.
Alright, what's up guys, I'm Random Frank P, and we're back with use at your setup, and now have hundreds of macros, shortcuts, functions right there in front of you. Also has a hefty base you can dock it up to so it doesn't slide around. And again, I've showed off Stream Decks and similar products, but those are usually $100 and up. This guy's just 40 bucks. Each of the 12 display keys are 104 by 104 pixels that can support JPEGs, PNGs, GIFs, so upload your own, or you can use their library of icons inside the software already, which also has cool integrations with your PC info to show you temps and usage on the fly, all as one of the hundreds of pre-made functions you can already have on display. But for me, the biggest difference and selling point with this are those buttons. The Stream Decks are notoriously mushy, where these are a nice firm tactile button that feels so much better and responsive. I have mine set up for quick multimedia adjustments and shortcuts to tie into my most used programs, like editing with Premiere Pro and Photoshop, shortcuts to launch games, which then also bring up specific in-game macros. It's definitely a cool gadget. The software is pretty easy to use, and to get this set up, odds are whatever function you're looking for is already in the drop-down menu of hundreds of built-in shortcuts that they have already. But again, you can also create your own and put pretty much whatever you want on those 12 screens, including unlimited folders of folders. So if you've ever wanted something like the Stream Deck, but it was too expensive, you couldn't afford to shell it out, for just $40, Mountain's display pad here is a crazy good deal. And again, those satisfying tactile buttons, it's so much better than the mushy Elgato one.
If I'm Bronny, I would tell my dad, just let me play in the G League all season so that I can develop. He needs playing time. He doesn't need to be sitting on the Laker bench and not playing. That's not a knock against him. He's just not ready. He needs to develop more, and then he will be ready because he has some great talent and skills, but he needs to develop those skills at a much better clip if he wants to play 15, 20 minutes a night in the NBA or more.
So you think LeBron is making him play in the NBA?
I wouldn't say that.
Oh.
I don't know that. But if I'm his father, like LeBron is, he needs to develop. It's just that simple. The Lakers have done a wonderful job of developing players. They've done a good job of bringing guys up and playing them in the NBA. If I'm Bronny,
And then now we hero to all. We are going to take you out with Pegasus, I believe. Boom, bop.
Nani?
With the Disney Lorcana Shimmering Skies set championships coming up this week, we're going to see a whole lot of these top decks. This is Dreamborn.inc, and you can look at the decks and the popular decks, and most likely these are going to be the ones that are going to be played at those championships. Me personally, I'm playing this deck right here. It's the Zanstead Emerald Steel. I like it a lot because
The Gundam card game was announced the other day and I have a lot to say about it, but most importantly, will this game actually succeed? In this video, I'm gonna go over why I care about this game in the first place as a general TCG fan and content creator, what you should know about the Bandai card game in terms of what the game actually is, how it is or isn't different from other Bandai card games, and also answer the question, will the Bandai card game succeed? Let's get into it. The other day, Bandai announced a new card game that is gonna be coming out, and at first they just hyped up a new TCG project, and then they revealed that it's going to be Gundam. And of course, at that very moment, a lot of people went up to me and went like, oh my god, it's Gundam. Chris, don't you love Gundam? And yes, I do love Gundam. However, I did feel pretty reserved about it on initial announcement because much like they showed in their own official video, or live stream rather, they have a very huge graveyard of Gundam card games. One of them in particular is a card game that I really liked, which was Gundam Cross War, which I didn't really get the chance to play, but that game was basically out between 2015 and 2017, only for 2 years, and the first time I went to Japan was 2016, and for the people that found this through the algorithm, which is, you know, very welcome. I currently live in Japan, but back then, when I visited, I saw it and it looked so cool, so I researched it, and it was a game that had both an app and a TCG version, and the cards were available in English, and it had a world championship throughout like the Asia region and everything like that. And overall, it felt like a game that had so much invested into it, and then it just died. In 2017, they just pulled out of it. It's like, unlike Fire Emblem Cypher or Future Card Buddy Fight, which ended because of the COVID pandemic starting, that game just kind of like, it like died in 2 years. It was such a weird and sudden and strange ending. But now, so they announced a new Gundam card game, and the other day they went over a long live stream of over almost an hour that you can check out. I'll leave a link in the description, where they go over all the rules and everything and like the beta test period for the game as well. Now, why was I a little bit apprehensive about this? The reason why is that, one, as much as I love Gundam and just mecha series in general, I always felt that the only things that Bandai does really well with Gundam are the anime and the, I guess, three things. There's the anime, there is the Gunpla scene in general, and then EX Versus, which is the arcade game that is basically still the only arcade game that is still played in arcades mostly and hasn't moved to consoles. But card games, I feel like they showed it themselves. They just haven't really done a good job with it. So I've been a little bit apprehensive, but after seeing the live stream, I'm definitely a lot more invested. So in this video, I'm gonna go over my first thoughts of the Gundam card game. And to give you a background for those of you that are watching that don't follow my usual content, I'm a card game content creator, YouTuber, streamer, commentator. I sometimes work in the background for some of these card games as well. And so I'm very invested in the card game community in general. And I do play some Bandai card games. I played Digimon TCG for a very long time from the very beginning, and then kind of like fell off of it a little bit throughout the beginning of 2023, I would say. And then I do play One Piece here and there, but my main active games are Vanguard, which is what this channel is mostly about, Shadow vs. Evolve, which I'm an official ambassador for, and the Pokemon TCG, which is like the game that's like my second biggest passion next to Vanguard, basically. So I'm pretty invested in card games, and I'm also fairly well versed with Bandai card games as well. So first things first, what even is the Gundam card game? So the Gundam card game is a game with 4 different types of cards, where you have your units, which are mostly the mobile suits. You have your pilots, which are the ones that power up the mobile suits. You have commands, which are basically like spell cards, and bases, which are, in my opinion, the most interesting part of the game, which are what protect your life from getting attacked. And otherwise, the game is played with a 50 card deck, which is strictly has to be exactly 50, no more, no less, with up to 2 colors mixed in one, a 10 card resource deck that you gain a resource from every single turn. And generally speaking, you play the game by having 6 shields or life or whatever you want to call it. If you've played One Piece or Digimon or Duel Masters, you're going to be very familiar with this. And then once you've run out of the shields and you get attacked, you would lose. And then you have a base, which basically acts as a shield to your shields, I guess. That basically your opponent has to attack the base before they can damage your shields. And only after they've destroyed the base, then they can attack the shields. And otherwise, you can battle between the mobile suits themselves, and then the pilots can link with the mobile suits to allow them to attack the turn they're played, otherwise they can't. And then they buff them up through various other effects. The other interesting thing is that this game has reaction timing. So much like how Battle Spirits has, I'm trying to remember what the terminology was for Battle Spirits. I don't even know if it's in Saga. I've only played Japanese Japanese battle spirits. So I think it was it Brave? I think it had a different name. So correct me in the comments unless I put a little thing down here. But that's like one of the already interesting things, is that the game does have response timing and both players get to respond to each other as well. We don't know how much of that is like possible yet. We know that you can play and command and then your opponent can respond to it, and then I don't know if you can continue that chain and how that chain will be resolved. Probably it's going to be kept fairly simple and not go that far. But so already from a gameplay perspective, there are some interesting things. There's a lot of things from other Bandai card games. I think one of my kind of like peeves was that I really wished that they would explore the idea of non-shield life for once. I feel like Bandai card games have been very settled on using shield as life for the longest time, whether it's One Piece or Digimon recently, or Dragon Ball Fusion World as well. But they've shown before that, like, you know, with battle spirits, they had a different life mechanic, and that was like very interesting. And the resource cards, I guess, are fine. It's very safe. You know, it's basically Dawn that they could have kind of like done something more with. So I feel like on that surface level, it is a little bit simple. I think the main interesting part of the game mechanics is the bases and how those effects of the bases will play into stalling out the game and really dictating the pace of the game, together with the mobile suit and pilot combos. I do think because there's 4 different types of cards already, building a deck of 50 cards is actually going to be a little bit hard to dictate the ratios, because your bases are necessary in order to protect you. You need commands to have responsibility. So like, I'm assuming like aggro decks might not play many commands, but then like control decks will probably play more commands. And then the fact that when you pair a unit with the specific linking pilot, so, you know, like let's say as an example, Sletta Mercury together with Gun Ariel, you know, in that case, that unit can attack the turn it's played. So basically it gets stormed from Shadowverse. And I think that how many deck slots you'll have to dedicate to those in order to be able to execute them consistently, and also just to have attackers, I think is going to also be pretty important. So right now it feels like, you know, they already showed us that some of the pilot cards will also be playable as commands, and I feel like those will probably be the main commands people play, because I feel like I wouldn't want to blow up my deck with stuff that isn't things I can attack with and kind of like try to win the game faster with. And I also wouldn't want to not have as many bases unless they're really weak, just because that also can dictate how long the game will go. So I feel like in terms of like the deck building is going to be quite interesting. Like, will you build a more tanky deck with more bases? Will you build a more aggressive deck with like the pilot and unit combos? I think that's something that I'm quite excited about in terms of just the gameplay itself already. Another thing I'm really curious about is that so far what we've seen is that if you look at the top corners of the cards, you can kind of tell that we're going to have 4 starter decks, and it looks like we're going to have like Witch from Mercury, Seed, Wing, and UC seems to be like the 4 so far. And then there's also a bunch of stuff in the booster set. What I'm curious about is that if each color will only have 1 series in it. So for example, if Wing is green, it's only ever going to be green. Or will it be like Wing will have a green deck and a red deck and a blue deck and a white deck, right? So those are the 4 colors. I personally would prefer that, because I feel like if, for example, I only want to play stuff from, let's say, Build Fighters, that's my actual favorite Gundam series, I would want to build Build Fighters decks of all kinds of colors without, or being able to mix colors of the Build Fighters decks without necessarily having to like mix with other series. But I'm sure they will have a lot of that, and I'm sure like other Bandai Gundam card games have also had that kind of mixing before too. In Battle Spirits, they really like mostly embrace just 1 series, 1 deck in their Gundam collab decks. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna go. But I think overall, it's like the battles and the gameplay as well as like the card types and mechanics seem relatively interesting. It is also much more advanced, in my opinion, than what usual Bandai card games are out of the gate, right? I feel like One Piece and Digimon were both relatively simple at a base core level of like just learning the game and playing it. And I'm very curious to see how much further they're going to push that with Gundam, because at a base level already has a lot of mechanics, and you could even say it has mechanic bloat from the beginning too. But that also opens up the door for some very explosive and interesting card design. So I gave examples on Twitter, like, you know, G-Self from Gino de Conquista. If that can like switch backpacks mid-battle, that would be really cool. Or, you know, like Tryon 3 from Gundam Build Fighters, if that can actually like combine mid-battle, that would also be really cool. So doing that kind of like more flashy balls to the wall kind of card design, I think would be really interesting, because I feel like the recent Bandai card games like One Piece have been playing it pretty safe. Digimon has been kind of going off the wall a little bit more lately with like pretty crazy effects and a lot of stuff going on standby at once. So I wonder how far they're going to push that ceiling with the Gundam card game. Another thing that was really interesting is that they showed that this game not only is available in 1v1 format, but also 2v2 format, much like Gundam EX Versus, where you share the shields between both players and then you just play together. And then there's also like, you know, Commander-esque formats too. But the fact that they already promote that from the get-go makes me want to believe that maybe the competitive format for this game might be 2v2, and that would be really, really exciting and something that hasn't really been done before in card games. And I think if they do choose to embrace that kind of like 2v2 playstyle for tournaments, I think that would be super hype. So personally speaking, I hope that that is something they lean more into, because that would make them very much stand out in the current TCG marketplace. In terms of my general kind of like worries and qualms, I guess, is that I do feel like overall, just looking at the game on surface level, it feels like every Bandai game mixed into one, and then just with like a few little unique gimmicks here and there. And the fact that this is like, from what they showed, this is like the third reboot of Gundam, which is like, if Vanguard rebooted twice and is, you know, still hated by a lot of card shops to this day as like, oh, this ruined our card shop because you rebooted and made our stock dead. Imagine how the shops that treated the previous Gundam card games are going to feel about this one too, right? No matter how many, you know, they had like Hongo Kanata, who's like a very famous actor that also plays a lot of Pokemon TCG on their stream. And it's like, no matter how much celebrity marketing you do, I don't know if that's really gonna kind of like gain the trust of the stores that have been backstabbed by the old Gundam card games. So I do feel like them showing like the average lifespan of a Gundam card game, while it both inspires a bit of hope that it's like, okay, this time they're really trying to nail it, it also gives a bit of worry. It's like, okay, so where on this average lifespan of a Gundam card game is this one gonna sit? So I feel like that's a bit of a mixed bag for me. The fact that they show that on stream, I think is very confident of them. That kind of shows resolve, which is cool, but otherwise, I don't know. Also, I'm not a big fan of the card back. I feel like the card back for a Gundam card game could look a lot cooler. Like, I feel like Lorcana has a way cooler card back for a game that's relatively simple and like kid friendly, right? Gundam is a lot more like hardcore, I guess, and I'm kind of surprised that they're not going for that feel with the card backs, but I mean, maybe this is their way to get more general appeal. I don't really know. And I'm also surprised that like so far we know the release date for the beta of the game, which is like the beta boxes you can pre-order on Premium Bandai or get at like events and stuff throughout the world, but they haven't actually announced when this game is coming out. And I'm personally expecting it to be in spring, because that is when Golden Week is in Japan, and that is when majority of people are on holiday, majority of people spend a lot of money. And you can kind of see across many different card game companies that launch games like Bushiroad and Bandai, they usually target spring. One Piece came out in spring, Dragon Ball came out in spring, Shadow vs. Evolve came out in spring. Technically, the baseball game that Bushiroad released recently also came out in spring. So generally speaking, spring is a very common time to release new games, so I would be surprised if they released it earlier than that. And also the fact that the Bandai like World Finals Bandai Card Fest in Tokyo is happening in March and they don't have an entry gift for Gundam on that, I think basically shows you that the game probably won't be out in March just yet. If it is, it might be like an early preview kind of thing. But now looking at the future, like once the game actually comes out, I think, you know, I'm both a big TCG fan and also someone that loves Gundam. I want this to work out. I want this game to do well. And I think the fact that they're releasing this game in 3 languages simultaneously is a very, very huge thing that's worth of you know, commending, because usually these companies will release the game in Japanese first to test the waters and see if the game is popular enough. They did it with One Piece. I mean, Fusion World, I guess, was like their first step towards more global releases, but with this one they were very much like in your face about it. It's like Chinese and English and Japanese cards all in the same trailer. This game's coming out at the same time everywhere, all across the world. And I think the Bandai Fest in Utrecht is the first attempt you have at trying the game even faster than Japan, because the Tokyo event is the week after that. So them embracing this like global side of things, I think is very, very interesting and definitely should be commended. And I think that that will put Bandai kind of like, they're already a very important and strong player in the TCG scene thanks to their success with One Piece in particular. But that I think will definitely show the other companies, hey, if we can do it, why can't you, right? It's like Pokemon constantly goes back and forth between being very close to Japanese releases and very far from them. And then Vanguard as well, sometimes will have like a month's break between Japanese and English, and sometimes like 3 months. And I think that Bandai showing that it can do this with multiple games, because we know Digimon is syncing up, Fusion World is basically synced up, and then Union Arena we don't really know yet, but I would assume that maybe they're going to aim for something similar, like they have like One Punch Man I think coming out in both languages at the same time. Like I think with Gundam especially, they're really trying to show these other companies, hey, if we can do this, you can do this too. And if you can't, then we're gonna, continue to shoot up ahead. Because for both Vanguard and Pokemon players, there's always this thing of like, well, Japan gets to play the game more than the rest of the world because they get to play these unsolved metas with brand new cards, whereas the rest of the world picks up from where Japan left off. So with Gundam, it's going to be everyone is exploring the game all at once. And then finally, to answer the question of whether I think this game will actually succeed, I think overall, the game will be a success. I think there's, just seeing the pre-order numbers for the beta sets, I think it was kind of expected it was going to do well just because there's a lot of Gundam fans and a lot of TCG fans that, kind of like the combination. So I think overall it will be a success and it probably will sustain itself for quite a long time. So I definitely see this game being around for at least as long as the current Digimon card game is and, it's still going. Because I think if the Digimon card game can continue going as strong as it has, because Digimon card game has always been pretty strong in the rest of the world, but not so much in Japan. Whereas the Gundam one, I think will be really strong in places like China and probably in Japan too, and in the West is where I'm a little bit not so sure about. But there is a but. I think while this game will be successful and will probably score in like the top 10 of sales every quarter and stuff like that, I do not think this will surpass One Piece's success. And there's a reason why I feel that. The main thing is when you think about the two most generally appreciated games, I guess we can say three, right? We have Pokemon, and then I would say Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I'd say One Piece. Magic is kind of like its own thing that I don't really want to talk about too much, I guess, because Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and One Piece are all kind of like from the same era of you kind of watch these on TV, the anime growing up, and now you've grown up, you have the ability to spend money, and you remember these series. And so all three of those franchises are generally speaking appreciated by everyone, especially Pokemon has like generational appeal, right? So when I go to Pokemon tournaments in Japan, I play against people in their like late 50s, I play against like elementary schoolers, I play against like moms that come there with their children and stuff like that, and also people my age. But One Piece is very similar to Pokemon where people love One Piece characters no matter who they are, right? So you see a very high split of like male to female ratio for One Piece because there's a lot of really popular male characters that are popular with a female audience, and then there's really popular female characters popular with a male audience, and then a bit of both on both sides as well. And just in general, the One Piece IP has been going for so long and it's appreciated by so many people. I mean, it's basically the most mainstream manga out there that it has that kind of appeal that everyone likes it. So I'd say both Pokemon and One Piece are two IPs that everyone likes, that everyone has an appreciation for regardless of their age, regardless of their upbringing. You could say that, people in their 40s and above are more the Dragon Ball generation than they are the One Piece generation. But overall, there is this like very wide appeal for these two IPs. However, I cannot really say the same for Gundam. I think Gundam, like I said earlier in the video, is more hardcore in that sense. Gundam has people like me, like I'm also, I got into Gundam pretty late. I basically got into it with 00 and then like watched back some of the older series. And what really hooked me on Gundam was actually build fighters. That's what hooked me and really made me appreciate the whole franchise. But overall, a lot of like the average Gundam fan's age is a bit higher than I'd say Pokemon or One Piece. And generally speaking, just looking at my own chat, I was restreaming this whole presentation and a lot of people were saying like, this is exciting, but I'm not really a Gundam fan, right? So it's kind of going to depend on like if the game itself is fun. And I myself, for example, I'm not a One Piece fan actually that much. I've read the first like 100 or so chapters, but hey, like I've built decks and stuff. The game is fun, right? If the game is good, I'm going to play it. And I think that with Gundam, it's going to be like kind of similar, where there's going to be a lot of people that don't really know the series. And there's a lot of people that for some reason don't like robots, which I used to be like that as a kid for some reason. So I kind of understand where they're coming from, but you'll also have that demographic that kind of just feels allergic to it compared to like One Piece, which is just anime characters, which of course there's also people that are allergic to that. But anyway, that's getting besides the point. I do feel like compared to One Piece and Pokemon, this will not have the same mainstream appeal. So it will be popular within the diehard core fans. And then depending on how good the pricing and the gameplay is, that will be the mainstream appeal that I think it might have as well towards the other card game players, which are now a very big and growing demographic. So I hope that answers the question that you came here for in this video. With that, if you want to know more about the Gundam card game, I will leave links in the description to the official website and to the stream so you can check all of that out. I don't particularly plan to cover the game, but it is something that I'm quite interested in. And I feel like just as both a card game and a Gundam fan, I'm quite invested in the future of it. So I don't think I'll be really making much content about the game. This is something like a video I wanted to make about my first thoughts. If it does come out, I live in Japan, so I'm very lucky that I'm surrounded by card games all the time. Even it does come out and if it's interesting and it's easy to get into the tournaments and it's like, you know, something that I can see myself getting serious about, I might cover it here and there. But for the time being, I'm gonna stick my efforts to where I've already planned to. But if you like the video, please do give it a like. And if you are interested in general card game stuff, feel free to subscribe and support the channel too. It really does help a lot. But with that, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hi there. Yep. Half cut okay? Same. No. Well, the purple is. I put purple in every deck, so. I love the bounce package. Yeah. I'm in the northwest of the states. Pretty close to Seattle. I'll put back class. Yep. All right, good luck. I will ink a Maleficent, and I'll play a Daisy. Which one? Yeah, it's a perplexing signpost. You banish this item, return chosen character of yours to your hand. Draw for turn. I will ink a Amethyst Chromacon. Pay 1 for a Lilo, 1 for another Lilo, 2 for Daisy. Okay. Your turn. Put off the turn. Oh boy. Oh, Inca Goat. I'll play Donald Duck and Bodyguard. 1, 2, 3 to Lilo. 2 from this Lilo. 2 from Daisy. Triggers. Okay. And I'll pass. Two. No problem. Inca Cogsworth. Pay 2 for the Perplexing Signpost. 1 for a Daisy. 1, 1, 2. 2 for Daisy. Okay. was 3, right? Okay. Okay. Drop, return. Pay 2 for a piglet. Quest for 2 with Daisy. Okay. Quest for 2 with Lilo. And pass. Okay. Zero. Drop return. Play perplexing signposts and pass. Drop return. Pay for Chernobog's followers and pass. It's all right. All right. Didn't get it. GG. The chroma, yeah, the gather knowledge and wisdom. Yeah, I have that, and I was looking for the I was won't. Yeah. Yeah. I just needed to pull the goat one off, and then I would have just used the signpost, played it, put it in, and then picked it back up. Yeah. Yep. GG's. Defeat. Fuck, chat, we were one off. Damn. Suffered a fat loss there. Kind of a weird popsicle. there. How the game's going? Good. Nice. How are you enjoying it? Nice. Yeah. We'll do 5. Thank you, sir. Okay. Oof. I will ink a Maleficent Sorceress, play a Daisy, and I'll pass. Ink Cogsworth. One for Maleficent, one for Magic Broom. Quest for 2 with Daisy. Triggers ability. Okay, pass. Oh. I will quest, pay 1 to play Daisy, trigger its ability, draw. We'll ink an Amethyst Chromacon. I'll play an Amethyst Chromacon. Tap 1, we both draw. Two for Daisy. Okay. And pass. Draw for turn. Draw for Chromacon. Pay 2 for Piglet. Pay 1 for a Cogsworth. Give Cogsworth Rush, and I'll ping into the Robin Hood. And I'll quest for 2 with Daisy. Okay. Oh, I need to ink. Wait, what turn is it? First, right? I need to ink. We'll ink a Madam Snake and pass. Draw for turn. Draw for Chromicon. Inca Maleficent. Pay or quest with Daisy. Pay 3. Bounce the Daisy back to hand. Madam Mim into the Robin Hood. Yep. He does. How much does he do? Your damage. 2 for a gathering knowledge and wisdom. And pass. Draw. We'll draw for Chromicon. Pay 1 for Daisy, 1 for Lilo. Two for another Chromicon. Tap that to draw. Lilo, Daisy, Chromicon. Okay, pass. Okay, to these two? Okay, so they're both out. Oh, just 2? Okay. Okay. Draw for turn. Draw for the first Chromacon. Draw for the second. Ink a Cogsworth. 4 for a goat. Two to play Perplexing Signpost. I'll banish it. It return chosen character of yours to your hand. So I'll bounce the goat. And I'll pass. Jesus. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So I'll draw for turn. Draw for first Chromacon, second Chromacon. Ink a Chernobogs. I can play the goats for 1. 2 for gathering knowledge and wisdom. 2. Little ink of snake. Alright, just played goat, right? Yeah. I'll play a snake. Bounce it back to hand. GG. So close. I know, they didn't stop coming. I like it. Yeah, haven't. Is your stream lagging as well? Yeah. We've played a couple times, yeah. No, so I'm not really sure. I'm hoping tomorrow when I go to the local store it'll be set champs because they do their Lorcana stuff on Sunday. But last week he wasn't really sure if it was gonna happen. So we'll see. I don't know, like I'm not sure if they didn't sign up or if they like haven't heard back from them or whatever it was, but he just said he was the only person that was working was not the boss, so I'm sure that I'll find one. If not tomorrow, then I'll try to track one down for next weekend. Yep, you have a good one. Wow, it didn't really go down that far. Give it a second. Let's play a game. Hi there. Top cut okay? Put back 6. I do. I played a lot more. I used to play a lot more. Good luck. Yeah. Another Mim Fox for Daisy and then a pass. Ink a Chernobog's followers. Play Lilo. Play another Lilo. Quest for 2 with Daisy. So you trigger the top there. Pass. That does 1 to everything, right? 2 to everything. Ink of Madam M Fox. I remember when the daisies were expensive. Yeah. Yeah, it died pretty quick. Ink. I'll play a daisy. I'll quest 2 for daisy. I will play Perplexing Signpost. Banish this item, return chosen character of yours to your hand. I'm gonna return Daisy. I will pass. Drop a turn. I will ink him out of Mim. Snake. I will pay 4 for a goat. I'll quest for 2 with Daisy. Pass. Is that... Where was that from? Okay. 3? Okay. What is my turn? We'll play another goat. Quest for 2. That's crazy. Uh, one. Play a Mim. Back to hand. Play a Daisy. I guess we'll swing on the Robin Hood. Oh, is he? How much does he have? 6. Yeah. All right. See a whole new world. I didn't ink either. Okay. Drop turn. Inca Maleficent. Three for a blue and bodyguard. One for Maleficent. One for Maleficent. Pass. Oh, alright. Mm-hmm. The person was cheating hard as fuck. Just made shit up right at the end there. I'm just gonna shift real quick. Like, yeah, you... Dude, I hate that shit. Something that I don't like about Pixelborn is a lot of people are just blatantly cheating. And it's like, dude, I'm watching you play. It's like, you don't think that you're being watched right now? Before, it wasn't... You couldn't do that. That just ruined it. I don't want to play anymore. Just play tomorrow. Like, I get beat fair and square. I don't really care. That's fucking ridiculous.
Set Championships is 1 week away, and with that, this will and show you different iterations and the evolution of where this deck started and where this deck ended. This was the original list going into the DLC, and I'd like to kind of talk for a moment about how we got there. The cool thing about this list, on honesty, was I was just sitting home one day watching Wonderland stream over on Twitch, which I'll have his description link below.
All right.